Hey, what's going on, guys? The Union Arena Orlando Regionals has officially wrapped up, and we now have our top 16 list here, so we're going to be diving into each deck. Super diverse list here. You love to see all the different decks popping up in the top 16, especially some from the newer sets, or even some like Sukuna that we've been waiting to see in the top, Toshiro after its buffs, and yeah, just awesome to see not Kenshin taking over. And I think a big part of this was, you know, Kenshin's been out for a little while. We do have other newer sets to dive into as well. So while the first regionals were definitely heavily dominated by Kenshin, as it was closer to the release of Kenshin, I feel like that was more new set fatigue more than anything else. And I feel like we'll probably see the same sort of thing for Evangelion and Sword Art Online when it comes to the Nationals. But this is an awesome thing to see when the newest best set has been out for a month or two and people are messing around with other decks here. You can obviously see that there's a lot to compete with how much different deck diversity we have in the top 16. We even have a Byakuya. This is awesome. So yeah, we're going to be diving into each deck here, breaking each one down, seeing if we notice anything unique here. Shout out to the winner of the entire thing, Senra, running red Kenshin, and the top 4 here. Love to see 4 different decks in the top 4. William Ewing with purple Hajime Saito, Rage with blue Sukuna, and Ming with green Toshiro. And if you guys did go out and compete, got top 16, top 32, just went out and played, or even just went and watched games or whatever, I'm sure you guys went out to compete. Massive congratulations just for going out and doing that, because that is a big feat to even go out and attempt to do so. So yeah, really awesome if you did have the opportunity to go out and play. And also massive shout out to Pro DM Joey and anyone else who's been helping him gather deck lists, put together this whole tournament list on other shout out, eexperts.dev. Great website to explore tournament results, post-tournament results. Joey put this one together. People are submitting their deck lists. So like, for example, we're missing 2 Kenshin deck lists right now. So if this is you, Gustavo or Blue Wolf, you have the option to go in here, claim, submit your deck list, and then the person who created the tournament, I believe, Pro DM Joey, has the right to, you know, approve the deck list or not. So it's really cool. This was created without any deck list, and literally 24 hours later, we have almost every deck list now. So eexperts.dev, make sure you make an account. If you ever place or want to look at tournaments, make sure you come over to here. And yeah, very thankful that they put all this information together for us. Also, if you're not subscribed to Pro DM Joey by now, I don't know how you're not. I highly recommend it. He's going to be doing interviews with players from the top 16 regionals, as well as other players from like the top 32. Great, awesome guy, great content creator, and really awesome content coming with the regionals that just wrapped up. So yeah, make sure you jump over to his channel and show him some love. But yeah, before we start diving into the decks, just want to mention again an awesome, diverse list here. Honestly, pretty crazy to see Hajime Saito pretty much taking over the top 16 if there is one super dominant deck. And I think people are happier to see this over Red Kenshin. I don't know, I mean, just Kenshin in general from the IP taking over is not super surprising, because purple Hajime Saito I thought was a pretty good contender with red Kenshin for like the best deck in Union Arena, and this pretty much shows it, right? It's just doing pretty much everything you'd want in a Union Arena deck, from raids to draw power to removal to rushing. It's such a good deck. So yeah, we'll start diving into these, and yeah, just love seeing all the diversity here. And then for anyone who may not know, this was a regionals that just wrapped up this past Sunday in Orlando, Florida. We do have a last chance qualifiers before the Nationals, but that's pretty much it. We have the finals, the Nationals, the championship, whatever you may call it, in February. And yeah, we'll just have one more regionals last chance qualifier right before that final event. So yeah, make sure you guys are watching. Hopefully they stream that. With some of the past Union Arena regionals, we actually were lucky to get live streams through Core TCG, through Eggman events, GG Haven. So really hoping that we get streams for the Nationals very similar to that. Unfortunately, this Florida regionals wasn't streamed at all, but I feel like in part that was kind of due to the fact that it was sort of like moved locations last minute. Either way, really hoping that February, if you're not going like me, we have the opportunity to watch online. And if it is, dude, I might stream that. That sounds really fun. That'd be a long stream, but I might be committed. But yeah, diving into the decks here, we've got number 1 Senra, our winner here with red Kenshin, and looks like a fairly standard build. He did splash in the 0 Yahikos. I guess it's not 100% standard because he actually did go 3 and 3 of the Karus here. Obviously the full raids. If anything, I think he's putting in just 4 of all of the small body Kenshins. I could be wrong, and you definitely have plenty of Kenshin deck lists to go look at from the last top 16s, but I'm pretty sure people do usually go down to 3 or 2 of this 2-cost Kenshin. He also is going with 3 of the Oath Not to Kill. I mean, he won the whole event, so if this shows it right here, don't be afraid to run just 3 finals. Listen, me personally, it's crazy how this last month specifically, I've had so many games where my first life is a final, and it is just the worst feeling ever. Not to mention at any point when your life is a final and it's not the last card in your life. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of games where even when I hit the final as the last card in my life, it doesn't even matter and I still lose the game. Granted, obviously the biggest value to this card is not its trigger, is the fact that it restands your action points, but even so, getting 2 to 3 in your hand at a bad time in the game just doesn't feel good. You end up trashing them. With that all said, depending on the deck, I don't think you should be afraid to drop to 3 of these. I don't think cutting them completely makes any sense because you do need restands to catch up at points or get ahead, but I am on board with 3. I like that. He also went with 2 of the Hiten Mitsurugi, the card that'll rest a character on your opponent's front line, but more importantly, if you trash this card with a Kenshin ability, you get to draw a card. So honestly, I'm sure this came into play quite a few times. I'm very curious because there's a lot of Kenshin trashing here. This is where those interviews that Joey does comes in really, really handy, so hopefully those questions come up and we get to find out how valuable running this card was, or if he did regret running just 3 of these or not. But yeah, overall, pretty standard Kenshin build. Gross deck, obviously. Insane deck if you haven't played against Red Kenshin by now. But yeah, very good deck. I'm not going to be surprised if this is what stops Eva from winning the entire thing, honestly. Because from my opinion, from what I've seen, the Eva decks do sort of want to fill up their energy line, at least red. So, you know, not going to be surprised if Red Kenshin sort of shuts down the newer decks coming out that need a ramp, you know? But yeah, all around, standard Kenshin build, fantastic Kenshin build, still one of the best decks in Union Arena, undoubtedly. Next up, we've got our purple Saito, our highest placed purple Saito deck from William Ewing. And yeah, this is, again, one of my favorite decks in Union Arena just because I think it showcases, like, everything a Union Arena deck wants, especially decks that are trying to play out cards that do cost, like, 6. But one of the saving graces to this deck is the fact that it has 4 costs as its maximum right under this card. So while you're ramping up to 6, you're playing some really good cards along the way. He went with 4 of the 2 action point Kenshin and then just 1 of this starter deck exclusive where he draws but then stays rested. Yeah, I don't really love the value in this card, but he also isn't a terrible card to have, right? Still a 4K body that can draw you cards. And yeah, all around, if you haven't seen this deck, it's just so good. Also, the fact that you can get away with just 8 zeros. Technically, it's 12 because of this guy. He counts as a 0 with an empty field, but I mean, when this first came out, I was going to run it, but I thought it'd be risky. Literally just 8 zeros and then 4 of him as your pseudo zeros, but it works. It literally works. People are winning regionals with it. So this has been such a game-changing addition to Union Arena that I really hope we get in a lot of future sets. A 2 cost that'll come out as a 0 if your field is empty. Because as we all know, by far the worst way to lose a game in Union Arena when you don't see a 0. Bricking is one thing, getting 1 to 2 energy and then not being able to play, that's one thing. Not being able to see a 0 cost. Your hand is 1s, 2s, and 3s. You mulligan into 1s, 2s, and 3s, and you just can't play because you don't have a 0 to start. Worst feeling. So, really cool that this is not just a great addition, obviously, but is genuinely just so good and game-changing, even when it comes to regionals. But yeah, Hajime Saito doing everything from free playing cards with this Kenshin while playing him active to pushing cards up with the Hajime Saito. We'll have to point out any differences we see along the way with the other Saito decks, but all around, I'd say it's a fairly standard build. I feel like the Yumis are a little bit unique. I personally don't love this card, but it is a draw trash when played with a draw trigger, so it is definitely not terrible. Oh, and that's another thing. This deck is running, I guess it's running 7 no triggers technically, but it does have a lot of triggers, which is nice. Impact, Snipe, Saito, again, if Red Kenshin wasn't doing what it did at such a low cost as fast as it did, it just got best deck stolen from it, though, by Red Kenshin, just barely. But yeah, Purple Saito is so strong. Best Snipe Impact deck, for sure. And then, I love to see this. I can't wait to dive into this deck. 3rd place, Sukuna. Shout out to Rage. Let's take a look at this. And, oh, and he's only going 2 of the new Yuji. This is what I was really curious about. How many of the new Yuji are you running? And yeah, it looks like he went with the 2. When I was building my Sukuna decks, there wasn't many 1 costs that I wanted to throw in. And, you know, you got to have extra zeros, I feel like, if that's what you're going to do. And it looks like that's the route he went here. He went with, so he did throw in the 2 1s, but to supplement just 2 1 costs, he went with more zeros. So we have 8, 12, I guess 13 zeros, the 1 EGG. Definitely going to have to watch his interview with Joey. Actually, shout out to, I think I just saw their video. Let me pull this up. Yeah, I was actually posting a video earlier right before this, and I actually did see this. They have a channel, so just drop to subscribe to them. Make sure you go show him some love. And he actually posted a video breaking down his Sukuna deck. So I'm going to watch this for sure. Highly recommend you guys go check it out. This was so cool to see. I love seeing Sukuna take the dub here. But yeah, shout out to Soul Rage. Go check out their channel. And also, obviously, like all the other contestants, hoping he does an interview with Joey. But yeah, he's already got a video breaking down his deck and probably talking about his game. So I'm going to watch this. Definitely recommend it. And if you guys do have channels and you placed or whatever, plug yourself in the comments. I want that to be aware. You are more than welcome. I want you guys, I encourage it to plug your channels. I want to know about you guys. I want to see your videos. I want to see you talk about your decks and stuff. And reach out to Joey if you want to do an interview, because he is more than happy to, I'm sure. So hopefully I'm not speaking too much for you there, Joey. I know I'm sure you got a full plate. But yeah, I want to see these as much as possible too. But yeah, other things in the deck here. Looks like he's going 4 of the starter deck Sukuna, of course. Just 2 of the 5-cost Sukuna. Okay. And then, of course, 3 of the Yujis. That was the thing, man. I was really torn on if I should be running the Yuji or not, or if I should just go full Sukuna commitment. But this card's too good. Yuji Raid out of life is just too strong. Any raids that you want to play out of life to bounce back, like a removal that's a free play body, like, come on, that's too good. Yeah, great raid targets, obviously. With the new Yuji, he adds 2 extra raid targets, 4 fingers, you know, fairly standard, besides the fact that now we got the new Yuji, and he's going with the Ijichi and the Akari, which is really interesting for sure. Obviously, no 7 or 6 cost Sukunas. They're just a little tough to get out, and in general, I think the best decks in this game are the ones that have like a 5 or less cost, in my opinion. Unless you have insane double energy generation, which this kind of does, but you'd be surprised when this Yuji doesn't come online. You'd be surprised when it happens. It's really annoying. But with the new Yuji, finding fingers fairly often. Yeah, I guess in total he's only got 4. Meanwhile, when this unbanned came out, I was 100% in the mindset of let's go 4 and 4 and just reorder, what is the word? Reorganize our entire deck. Bottom deck 30 cards, right? After searching and know exactly the order you placed them. But with that, very, very sick. Very, very sick. Shout out to Rage again for getting Sukuna into 3rd place. This deck's so awesome, man. We love Sukuna. And then in 4th place, shout out to Ming with the Toshiro Kenpachi deck. Yeah, this is one that I definitely expected to see in the top 16. Glad he was able to really show it off and put it into the top 4 here. Yeah, these new buffs are insane. If you guys didn't see with that binder set, green got 1, 2, 3, 4 new cards. And as you can see here, besides the Kenpachi, he's running 4 ofs of every single one of them. I'm assuming maybe he couldn't get his hands on the other 2 Kenpachis possibly, or maybe he decided to just run 2 for a reason. This is where the interviews come in. This is where channel videos come in, him talking about his deck. I'm definitely going to be watching the interviews for sure to see if we can get those answers. But yeah, Kenpachi, like the deck's so gross now. In my opinion, Toshiro is still one of the strongest cards in the game since release. When played, frees the whole field technically, right? And then 1 card on the front line. Yeah, it's just so strong. It's just so strong, especially late game, especially if you can repeatedly do it. One of the strongest things in Union Arena, no matter what deck you're playing, is the fact that you can push up your cards on the back line and attack with them. Toshiro says, sorry, they are not going to do that. They're just going to stay rested. So, insane deck. On top of the fact that Kenpachi can come in with Impact 1, Damage 2. Oh, and he can't be BP reduced as well, so that helps with stuff like Roy, helps with stuff like Purple, Bleach, things like that. Yeah, all around just an insane deck. I'd say, if anything, maybe Toshiro might suffer a little bit against Kenshin, but honestly, not really. You could definitely have freed up energy line slots and just push your cards back. I love this deck. I'd be playing it if I got my binder collection. I did not buy the binder collection, and I heavily regret it. So, will not be playing much Toshiro. But I'll be honest, even if you don't have the binder collection and you do want to try this deck out, I highly encourage it. This deck is still insane. Just this, and these 3 pieces, and then all the other small cards with it. Like, the binder collection definitely helps and makes the deck insane, but even without them, if you want to build the deck and play it, it still does so well. Yeah, all around, really, really awesome build here. He didn't throw in the Yachiru that buffs up the Kenpachi at all, which is interesting. And he's going 4 of the 2 action point Kenpachi and then just 2 of this guy. I feel like we usually see like a 3-3 split, or at least 4 of this guy and then a different variation. But I guess with him now, you don't really need to worry about it too much, and he's just your removal. Another thing too with my Toshiro build is I really want to splash in the I forget her name, but the girl from Volume 2 that free plays a body when she's played. I think you have to have a Toshiro to do that. It's still so good because you're trying to get up to 6 other cards on the field for the Toshiro and Kenpachi ability. That is the one thing this deck might suffer from, is trying to get up to that 6 and then playing against a deck that does not allow that, like I guess Kenshin would, right? Because for 6 you're going to need at least 4 on the front line or energy line to some degree, right? Or 3 and 3. It shouldn't be too difficult, though, to play around. But yeah, all around, insane deck. Toshiro did it. Toshiro is top 4. I mean, honestly, this is such a good representation of, like, the best decks in Union Arena. It really is. Roy Mustang, like, number 6, I was going to say, is the only other one I'd really make sure to put in here. But on top of that, all these decks are fantastic. This would have been my exact prediction list, minus Byakuya and Renji. Shout out to GutlessMist. We actually got to play against him in the content creator tournament, so really excited to dive into this list. But yo, I can't believe he did it. This is such a crazy deck list. I'm excited to dive into this. A squad Byakuya mix. But yeah, all around, like, yeah, I love to see the diversity. I'm glad this wasn't overtaken by Kenshin. I'm glad this wasn't overtaken by, I don't know, green Toshiro buffs or something. Like, I think this is definitely the most diverse top 16 we're going to see for a while, for sure. At least until, like, the next regionals starts to kick off. Because I'll be honest, I think nationals is going to be a whole lot of Evangelion. We'll see. All right, and then starting to dive into our multiple Hajime Saito lists, minus the one Roy. We've got Noblejimjam, I believe. And he is running the purple Saito deck. Curious what kind of differences we're going to see in these. He decided to go 2 of the starter deck exclusive. He did not run the 1-cost girl that draws and crashes. Yeah, all around pretty standard build. Personally, I like the 4 ofs of a ton of cards because that's just consistency. You're making sure you're going to see those cards. Yeah, all around, I mean, pretty standard. The amazing combo of free play this guy or filter with this guy on your first turn. Play something else into the double gen, and then boom, you can just Hajime Saito the next turn to push something up, or even better, Kenshin, free play him off of the 2 action points to push something up, and now you guys got like 3 attackers by your 3rd turn. It's such a crazy deck. This raid also is just so strong. The fact that it's a 4 search, so good, so good. Yeah, all around, fairly standard build here. And then Zanryo, we've got the Roy Mustang deck for our top 16. I think we're always going to get at least 1 Roy if it's being ran, honestly, because this deck is also, just like Hajime Saito, really perfect. Like, it just is very consistent. It does have a 5, but all the 4s and double gens really makes it really easy to play. And obviously it's easier than a 6-cost, playing a 6-cost out. The removal in this deck, just by attacking, the filtering with the Rizas. Yeah, it's a great deck. The draw power. Now, speaking of draw power, he is not running Militaries in Trouble. The draw 2, if your hand's empty when you use this card, draw 3. Yeah, but I mean, who needs it, right? Who needs it? I mean, it's an event card. So there's a lot of justification behind I'd rather spend that action point getting a body on the board. Not to mention, you know, we do have some draw power in terms of, well, our Roy raids, obviously. If you're able to get value out of the Maze Hues, they do have draw potential when sidelined. If you have 2 or less in hand, draw cards. So there is other ways to draw cards in here outside of Militaries in Trouble. I love that card. Any event that's going to allow me to draw potentially 3 cards, I might try to run. There's that one in Kaiju, rest a card on your front line, draw 3 cards. But again, it's crazy how you could draw up to 4 even, maybe. And if it's costing you an action point, and you could have used that action point to play a character on the board, a body to attack and block with, it's wild, man. It's wild. It's just so much more value sometimes over even just drawing 4 cards, truly. Union Arena is an interesting game. But yeah, with that, pretty standard build. I'd say some other things that stand out is he did go straight up 4 of this 4 Roy. I think that's something people are on the fence about sometimes. 3 of the 2-cost Roy. 1 Edward just floating around. Very curious if this made an appearance at all. And yeah, again, Roy Mustang. This deck is going to be a pretty solid top-tier deck for a while. It's just very consistent, very strong, and it's just doing what it does most games. Pretty much, yeah. It's so good. All right, and now it's time for the Hajime Saito deck list comparisons. Here we go. We've got Valdy starting it out here. See if we got any differences. Oh, we threw in Sanosuke. Nice. You know what? I like that. Go up against a Squad 0, and I'm very curious if he got the opportunity to play this guy out, destroy a site. Not bad, not bad. Just the one of, just in case. Besides that, he's also going 2 or 1 of this Iji, which, you know, if you're playing a 6 cost, I could see the justification for these. You know, you play it as your 0, and then at some point throughout the game, you're able to tap it just to go to 6. I feel like running 1, though, I'm only ever going to see it in my life, and I'm going to hate myself for running it. But I could definitely see the value for it if you have a 6 cost. But yeah, other than that, we've got our standard 4s. Looks like he did not run the starter deck Hajime Saito. I feel like that's probably the least important Hajime Saito in the entire deck. Probably one of the least important purple cards, but it's also a really good card. My favorite combo with it, the starter deck one, because it attacks, you can leave it rested. You can sticky rest it yourself, and then you get to draw a card. You could do that and then bounce him back with this Hajime Saito. I guess that doesn't really matter too much then, because you're kind of putting yourself back on action points. Here's a better combo that I know people like to do. Still setting yourself back a little, but bouncing back the 6 cost with this 2 cost, because when he attacks, you bounce back any one of these characters on your front line, buff him to 4k total. So if you bounce back your Hajime Saito raid after he's attacked, you can reuse his 1 plate ability potentially. So I like the value in that for sure. But yeah, great combos, great play styles. Hajime Saito is peak. All right, and then Alex Muhich. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing these at all. Let's see, Hajime Saito. We've got our 2 Yumis in here. And yeah, there's not a lot of draw trash in this deck, if any at all. So I definitely see the value in this. It has a draw trigger too, which makes it more viable, right? We got the 1 of the starter deck exclusive. Yeah, all around, fairly standard. And then Oreion 9, love the Saitama picture, love the Saitama banner. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, 1 of the Sanosuke's, just in case we go up against a squad 0, take out the sight. Bros flexing the alt arts in this, love to see it. The 1 EG as well, okay. And 2 of the starter decks. So yeah, honestly, it's really cool to see that they are like different variations of cards for sure, especially splashes of like some people have Yumi, some people have Iji. So if you are curious on things to change in your Hajime Saito builds, there's definitely some things to keep in mind with these. And he's making me say it, Ben Dover with our last Hajime Saito deck on this list, I believe. Yes, sir, getting 10th place. And we have got 1 Yumi, no Ijis, 2 of the starter deck Saitos. Everyone's going 3 of this Kenshin, huh? That's pretty standard. I feel like he's a 4 of, but... And Valdy as well? Okay, there are some people running him at a 4. That's really interesting, though, because every set has this Kenshin, right? Every set has this when active double gen character. I feel like it's a 4 of when you're running 6 cost cards, but especially when like it's a card like this that has the name Kenshin that you can use for multiple effects. But yeah, I guess 3 works. No trigger. You don't need to see it every game. I guess that works. And then unfortunately, at the time of making this, we are missing the 2 Kenshin decks on here, the other 2, Gustavo and Blue Wolf. I made a community post about it, and I think one of them had somebody comment that they were going to be posting it. But yeah, if you guys ever get the chance to, definitely post your deck list. We'd love to see them. If anyone watching this who wants to see other red Kenshin builds, obviously wait for their deck list. But on top of that, look at the other top 16s. I believe the previous 2 had quite a few Kenshins to get some ideas from. But yeah, so we could probably get a good idea of what Gustavo was running here. I'm curious if either of them are running Sanosuke hybrids. Very curious. And moving on to 12th place here, we've got Artie Spagardi, I'm pretty sure, W name, running our 1 Mina Reno deck. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Yeah, very, I mean, come on, Mina Reno, it's gross, man. This is so gross. Getting the free plays off of Renos, maybe into a Bako free play, into a push, into raiding, into freezing, into energy line attacks, raids too. I like the Toshiro Hoshina splash, honestly, because that was something I was sort of torn on with this deck. Is I was doing a Reno Mina build as well, but I did cut Hoshina. But you know, the deck did feel a little slow at times. Just having this extra raid target that can not only draw you cards when played, but his raid target can actually rest cards for you, allowing you to put more cards to sleep. Yeah, no, this is a perfect mix. I think I'm gonna try this out because that was the one splash. I pretty much have this as my build. I think I'm just going a little more heavy in the Mina area, and then I just cut these 3. I like this. Honestly, this is perfect. This is so good. I'm gonna try this out. This looks really fun. But yeah, really, really good deck. I knew we were gonna see a Mina and Reno. I knew it. This deck is too good, bro. It just plays into some insanely fast turns that your opponent just can't do anything about. And something about rushing super early, even if you do slow down a little bit, if you can just win the tempo game, if you can just get ahead 2 or 3 life on your opponent, from that point on, you just need to be taking at least 1 life every turn, end it with a big swing to take the last 2 or whatever, and like, it's just interesting how that tempo game of being ahead on life, especially with a deck like this where you can get so many swings in early with free plays off of Reno and push-ups with Bako, and then energy line attacks. Yeah, this deck can definitely play out super fast and pressure your opponent into a pretty instant loss, honestly. It's crazy, because once you get ahead on life or you put your opponent down so many, there's not much catching up you can do in this game, honestly. But yeah, all around, fantastic build. I will definitely be trying this out. Also, another thing to mention, love seeing people diving into the 11 zeros. I guess 6 ones does make it more justifiable, but I love 11 zeros, man. In my opinion, everyone has lucky numbers, right? Everyone has lucky numbers. While you shouldn't be running 9 or 10 zeros, 12 is the safe number. Me personally, I love the number 11, and it's been working for me. So, granted, I do think you need to run at least 4 ones with it. 6 ones is very safe. But yeah, all around, awesome build here. We'll definitely be trying this out. And then I'm so happy one of these made it in, because this deck is gross. We have 13th place Creamy with the purple Toguro deck. Yeah, this deck, if you guys haven't seen Toguro in action, oh my god, this deck is good. Now, I love rushing out with this card. There's definitely games and turns where you're turn 3 or 4, you can actually just play this card out straight up, and even if they do just have 1 card on the front line, he kills on play. So like, you can easily swing for a free damage 3 with this character, completely freeing up their front line, and you can do it really fast too, because while he's an 8 cost, there's plenty of ways to reduce the cost of him for sure. If you guys haven't seen with the Elder Toguro here, if he's ever sidelined or returned to your hand from field, he actually reduces the cost of the next younger Toguro you play by 2, so he can be a 6, or you can stack this to make him a 4 cost. It's pretty wild. And yeah, this deck is just really good. On top of the fact that it can get an impact 1 damage 3 out as fast as it does, there's so much removal in it in the form of this guy being a removal. I believe it's this one right here as well. You can just minus something by 2k. And then stack that with this even, make it minus 3k. There's just a lot of potential with it. Also glad he's splashing in the Karasu. I think the draw power with the Karasu really helps this deck here. It's also another raid in the deck as well, which can always help with bodies. And yeah, all around just a fantastic deck. Sakio really helping with, again, double energy generation. He also allows you to free play characters, so if you are sidelining your character, he's a nice sort of compensation to help not slow yourself down too much, because that's the issue, right? You sideline too many of your characters, put yourself back on action points or energy, and now you're sort of like playing the catch-up game. Sakio, you sideline your characters for your effects, play him, now you're just replenishing your board with bodies. But yeah, all around, really great deck. Glad he made his way into the top 16 with it, going with the 11 zeros, 4 ones. And it looks like he's also running 2 of this Dr. Ijigaki. Okay. I actually never splashed this guy into my build. I forget what the 2 costs I was running, definitely him. But I like it, man. I mean, double energy gen, generally, realistically speaking, this is the best double energy generator in any set for Union Arena. A 2 cost that just double energy generates for the rest of the game once it's active. It doesn't have a trigger, but realistically, for a 2 cost especially, this is a great card to have for double energy. And yeah, him running like an 11 total, like that's definitely like the nice ratio to make sure you're getting your 6 cost out, or your 5. You still have 5 costs you need to play out, right? But yeah, younger Toguro deck, so good. Removal, board pressure, it's great. And then 14th place, super excited to dive into this, GutlessMist. He made it into top 16, 14th place with Byakuya Squad 0 Renji. Like, I don't watch Bleach, so I don't know how crazy of like a hybrid this is, mixing Squad 0 with Renji with Byakuya. I think I was actually told that these guys are sort of like they're like on the same team, commander or something. Anyways, the other anime I'm watching, 1,000 Year Blood War's got a long time before I get to it, if ever. Love seeing the unique build though. I've never seen a brew like this, and he got into top 16 with it, using the new Byakuya from the premium binder set here, as a 1 cost raid target trigger, allowing you to filter. Fantastic card. What else does he have in here? He's also one with the 3-1 split on the specials. Honestly, Squad Zero special is very, very good as long as you do have the Squad Zero options. And he's going with the hybrid here, so he definitely does. He definitely has quite a few, from the Oetsu to the these two up here. He's also got one Orihime double blocker. Very curious if this made any appearances. And with all of the active triggers, this guy, this card, I mean, the Zero Renji, you get this card on the front line and she just gets one turn with an active trigger. Now she's a 7k double blocker, 6k double blocker. That could have value. That could have value. And I mean, if she's just a one of and she ends up in life, she's an active trigger, right? 3 Bankais as well, so bro did experiment with the 3 finals here. And all around, it looks like it worked out really, really well for him. I love seeing this, man. Congratulations. Not just getting into top 16, but getting into top 16 with a really unique brew. This is super, super cool to see. So yeah, definitely try this deck out if you guys are curious. I know there's a lot of Byakuya fans that kind of haven't been playing Byakuya because he didn't really get as much love as the other purple bleach cards, but clearly this is a deck to try out. And then diving into our last deck list that we have here, green Toshiro Kenpachi, ran by the RealAntiHero. And yeah, fantastic deck. Oh, and he's running the Rangiku card I was thinking of. So yeah, me personally, I would definitely try to splash in a couple of these. Because again, what this deck is playing around is trying to have 6 cards on the board for these 2 at least. And having the Rangiku to just help you board Flood, I just feel like it's so good. He went with the 3 zeros, 4 ones. So yeah, I'm glad the 3 zeros is a thing that's working for people, because I'm always on the fence of like, should I be going 12 zeros just to be safe? And while you maybe should, as long as you've got the ones, I mean, it's just luck at the end of the day, right? I've seen people brick with more zeros. So I'm happy with 11. I don't want to see too many zeros in certain decks. But yeah, with that, he's also running the pretty much exact same split of the premium binder set cards. That's really interesting. Very curious if I don't think they were like teammates or something, and they split the Kenpachis or something. Or maybe this is just the brew, or is Kenpachi the most expensive from the premium binder set? I haven't really looked into it too much. I know they're all like 25 plus. But yeah, maybe he just cut them to make more room. It does suck that he doesn't have triggers, so maybe that's where like the Sajin's going with a few of these instead, having the triggers as well, but still double energy generating, and it's a 3 cost. Keep that in mind. Every once in a while, this card being a 4 might be a little annoying to play out. With 4 cost double energy generators, you always need to remember that if you want to play him on the energy line and not remove something, you're going to need a double energy generator there already, because if you have 4 single energy generating cards, the only way to play him in that energy line currently is to remove one of those cards. So he can be a little annoying to get out at times, I'm sure, for the double energy generation on the energy line. But we've also got the new Toshiro, who's a double gen, so it's probably not that big a deal. And on top of that, what am I even saying? This deck maxes at 4 costs, so you could probably play this guy in the front line and not care at all about his double energy gen. That's the thing about energy generation, double energy generation. If your max is a 4 cost, you have like nothing to worry about. Whereas if you have a 5 or a 6 cost, you literally need one of these on your energy line to play. Very big difference there for sure. But yeah, love to see it. Toshiro Kenpachi taking over a little bit in the top 16. And it looks like they both went with the Toshiro sort of heavier build with as far as like the special, right? None of the 1 cost Yachirus, which help the Kenpachis, give them impact or damage too. Impact plus impact 1 or plus damage plus 1, whatever. Yeah, neither of them are running those, so I guess people haven't been seeing too much value out of those cards. Again, there's a lot of different brews that you can make with green bleach right now, especially with the binder set. Oh, another interesting thing to mention, he went with 2 of the Shinjis that give impact on play. So yeah, really interesting brews. Love to see the different diversity in it. And he got 15th place with this, so clearly it is a solid, great deck. And yeah, guys, with that, that is every single deck that we have from the Orlando, Florida Regionals Top 16. In the future, if there's any way I could help with it as well, I would love to get us a Top 32, Top 64 even if it's not the full deck list, just to see what was played. Because I'm very curious what decks barely didn't make the cut, right? I believe in the last regional, shout out to Joey for doing the interview. That's the only reason I even heard about it. I think there was an 18th place yellow bleach deck. So it's stuff like that, right? I want to know what made it, what was played in general, and what also made it close to top 16. That is I'm very curious. Because on top of that, in Union Arena, man, best of ones, they only show so much. It's crazy. If you guys go watch the content creator tournament we did, I truly only won it because of best of 3s. If it was a best of 1 tournament like regionals, I don't think I would have won it, at least with the luck I was having. But because we were doing best of 3s in every single round, and I lost one, won one in every single round, it allowed me to win the best of threes and get the dub, because there's a little bit of luck and matchup dependency in Union Arena sometimes. So yeah, very excited for Nationals since it's going to be best of 3 format from the looks of it. Still not 100% sure if it's just like the later half of the Nationals, like the people in the top 8, top 16, or if it's just all of Nationals. I'm assuming it's going to be the whole way through, but it is confirmed some best of 3s. If you're curious about that at all, go check out my Nationals Regionals video that I posted recently, the info on it. But yeah, very happy that our last regionals before EVA looks this diverse. If you go look at the last few top 16s, there were a lot of Kenshins, probably more than we wanted to see, but I feel like it was just new set fatigue. On top of that, like, how are you not going to play the new best set that everyone insists is the best in Broken when you're going to play in regionals, right? Like, if I was going to the regionals that happened, I believe, in California, like the week after Kenshin release, I probably would have just gave in and played Kenshin, honestly. Like, the decks look too fantastic, and I want to win, right, if I'm going to play in a tournament like this. But there's clearly, at this point, you know, that's new set fatigue. Now that it's been out for a little while, people got to try out some other sets, other decks, 2 other new decks, other buffs to stuff like Toshiro, and people going back to Mustang and just running it consistently and just knowing what they like. Clearly, there's the best decks, but then there's also very great contenders as well. So yeah, very curious if Nationals is going to be EVA takeover, SAO takeover. I really hope not. I know there's going to be a lot of EVA, but I hope people on this list, for example, commit to what they are winning with. Maybe we see a Mina in there. Maybe we're definitely going to see Roy's, I assume. I don't think people are going to be dropping Red Kenshin. I feel like if there's anything that's going to counter Evangelion super hard, it's going to be Red Kenshin potentially. But that yellow EVA deck does look pretty crazy. I'm not going to lie. Anyways, only time will tell. We'll have to see. Who knows? Maybe we get English bans with Evangelion and that changes everything. Who knows? But yeah, Nationals, don't be surprised if it doesn't look this diverse. And yeah, you just love to see this, man. Union Arena, this shows it. This card game has so much potential for so many decks. There's probably so many sleeper decks that probably still have the potential to be worked on and made into really broken standout decks. Just because it's being played a ton at regionals and it's mostly being played, so then it's in the top 16, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best deck all around. Yeah, that's something I love about this game, man, is there's broken decks, there's top tier decks, but then there's also plenty of room for a lot of other decks to get wins. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Appreciate you guys watching and getting this far. Shout out again to everybody who went and competed in Orlando, Florida. Shout out to Joey and everyone else who put this top 16 list together. Reach out to me in the future if there's anything I can do to help, of course, put this together. Put out some community notes on YouTube to try to get the attention of people with these deck lists. So hopefully that helped. And yeah, in the future, guys, make an eexperts.dev account. Make sure you keep an eye on the tournaments. If you ever play, submit your deck list, etc. If you're one of these 2 Red Kenshin decks, get your deck list over. Yeah, with that, guys, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.